Good evening, everyone. I am Astha Kumari, a first year student of PGDM, specializing in pharmaceutical management. On behalf of IIHMR Bangalore, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's insightful webinar on emerging technology trends shaping the future of pharma and medtech. The pharma and medtech industries are undergoing a remarkable transformation driven by rapid technological advancement and digital innovation. From artificial intelligence and data analytics to smart devices and personalized medicine, emerging technologies and redefining how healthcare solutions are developed, delivered, and experienced. In such a dynamic landscape, staying informed and future ready is not just an advantage, it is a necessity. We are truly honored to have with us two distinguished experts who will guide us through today's important discussion. It is my privilege to introduce our moderator for this session, Dr. Pratap Kumar Nair.
Um, Very good evening to all of you. First of all, I thank you all for joining us. And it is my pleasure to actually be the moderator today as we have a distinguished speaker. And uh, that is Dr. Debashis Das. Uh, and let me have the privilege of introducing him as well. When you look at his qualifications, basically he's completed after completing his medical degree. He has moved on to AIIMS New Delhi for his post graduation, and afterwards he has basically got an international exposure in the Johns Hopkins University with his diabetology specialization, and later on to UK in the Leeds University for his Masters of Business Administration. So basically, if you look at him, he's a perfect blend of medical knowledge and the business administrative skill, a strategic leader, and who has got medically qualified. And on top of it, he's a practicing diabetologist in Mumbai. And this kind of a combination is very rare, and he's been later on exposed to the pharmaceutical industry, basically from the global giants of the industry, which is more than 100 years old, operating in more than 150 odd countries. The organizations like Novo Nordisk and also Medtronic, a true leader and innovator in the space of medical technology. And besides that, Dr. Debashis is an advisor to BIRAC, that is basically biotechnology industry research administrative council, which is a part of the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. And he's been an advisor to many teaching, non-teaching institutions, and currently, which is currently on both in Jaipur, India, Orissa, and various parts of India. So formally, he's been he's been actually the healthcare and life sciences advisor to the British High Commissioner, Government of UK. So I think we are really lucky to have a personality who is standing at the interface of medical knowledge and medical practice and a great industry exposure in terms of the innovative space in the pharmaceutical and medical technology. It is my pleasure to have Dr. Debashis Das as a key speaker today. And before I hand over the session, I'll just take 1 minute to introduce our institution. We are basically Indian Institute of Healthcare Management and Research, and we have uh, kind of we are existing for more than 20, 25 years, and we have campuses across India. And Bangalore is the headquarter of our South Campus. And we basically offer uh, typically different courses in the healthcare landscape, the hospital management and research, health management and research. Then we have the AI and data science. And then we also have the pharmaceutical management 2-year diploma course. So basically, this is offered to the PG students, and our students' profiles are basically medical students, medical graduates, the dental graduates, the physiotherapists, the pharmacists, so on and so forth. And we also have a fellowship program which is basically a postdoctoral program, a doctoral program which is equivalent to PhD. So with this, I hand over the session to Dr. Debashis. And um, before that, Asta, do you want to say anything about the housekeeping?
Uh, Sir, I'm confident that this session will be informative and thought-provoking for all of us. Participants are requested to kindly post their questions in the chat box, and these will be taken up during the Q&A session following Dr. Debashis' presentation. And I kindly request all of you to mute yourself so that the session will not be disturbed forever. With that, I now hand over the session to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Pratap,
Thank you, sir.
and thank you, IIHMR Bangalore, for this opportunity to talk to your esteemed faculties and students. Pratap and me go long back. I think we know each other for last at least 25 years or more in the industry. So, not taking much of time, I'll share my screen.
Sir, you're muted.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes.
And are my slides visible?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I'll just try to take you through about the latest technologies in healthcare, which will again, when I say healthcare, it includes hospitals, patient care, pharmaceutical industry, and medical device industry. And as all of you know that all these are part of healthcare industry. So I just mentioned that. Maybe I'll touch most of them in our limited time. So this is whatever I speak. This is of my personal opinion, and I'll introduce you to a little bit to Medtronic. I think most of you know it is one of the world's largest medical technology company, and it basically started a long time back. I think more than 80 or 100 years. Again, in a garage and with a collaboration of a engineer and a physician, basically to meet a unmet need. And the purpose basically was to alleviate pain, restore health, and extend life. And currently, as I said, this is we are one of the largest medical device company in the world. We operate in around 150 countries. We have around 100,000 employees globally, and almost we have, if you see, we have almost every therapy from head to toe. Every two lives are improved every second, and as I said, we almost treat more than 70 conditions with our portfolios. From, you can say, from deep brain stimulation to cardiac stents to pacemakers to automated insulin delivery system or robotics. We have almost everything. Coming to our topic, so which are the trends? I think most of you know it because nowadays we have so much of information across wherever you go. Now, these are some of the thing which is driving the entire industry and the entire gamut of health industry. AI and machine learning, all of us know, big data analytics, robotics, mobile health and wearables, Internet of Things, genomics and personalized medicine are in a big way it is coming in. You have then biointegratory devices, and then you have mobile health and wearables, then drone delivery in healthcare, basically to supply critical drugs in time. So before I go into each technology, I will just briefly touch AI because in most of the technologies, whatever it is, there are some components of this is used, or either is being used, or it will be used, or it will be enhanced using. So just touching on AI, I think all of you know what exactly is AI. This is just computers doing tasks that usually require people, and why it matters because it's everywhere nowadays. And this is the brief timeline of how actually AI started. It started from, you can see, 1950s with the Turing questions of the first chess program, and from there it went to symbolic AI, Deep Blue in 1997, then the Deep Learn, Bridge Arts, and then in today's world, LLMs every day in AI tools. That's how the AI has evolved. And early days, it used to be rule-based logic. Then came the data-driven learning algorithms. And then we have now deep learning, large models, and creativity. So that's how AI has evolved and will be evolving further. And AI then everywhere. In our everyday life, it's not just healthcare. Anything you talk about, when you Google also, it's AI because it'll give you prompts, whatever is the last search or last 5 or 10 search. So it's there everywhere. And now this is the latest LLMs, which is actually driving the entire Chat GPT world, and that's going a big way. Chat GPT, then now you are coming with generative AI and other things. So language model technology is again driving a big thing in coming days, and now also. This is an important one: prompt engineering, getting the best from AI. The what it says is AI will work when you ask the right question. When you ask the right question, you will get the right answer. But if your question is not right, your output from that will be little bit blur. So you need to know that the crucial skill of working with LLMs. So prompt engineering is another important area. RAG, retrieval augmented generation, again used again in the AI world, but it merges LLMs with real world facts, and it updates current information. It boosts accuracy, trust, and reliability. So RAG is nowadays commonly used, or are trying to be used much in healthcare to boost accuracy. And as I said, AI is in everywhere. It's healthcare, manufacturing, education, everywhere. Now coming to, this is just about AI. I think most of you know it. But what are the other technologies which are actually driving the whole gamut of healthcare. One is wearables. So this is some of the wearables we have in Medtronic itself. It's called Bio Button. So if you put this Bio Button patch here, it will automatically you can see it monitors up to 1,440 vital signs per day, including respiratory rate, skin temperature, heart rate, and all lot of parameters. And this will just relay the information to backend. You can through cloud or through different, it can go. So these variables are not only helping a better management in a critical care setup, or in a semi-critical care setup in the hospitals, and but not only that, for remote monitoring, because you can just upload the data on the cloud, and the patient might be at home, or the person, and the data can be seen with the physician far 1,000 miles away, or more than that. So variables are really picking up. Already there are many variables in the market, a lot of Indian made mostly, and then a lot of multinationals. But then this is really changing the game of remote monitoring and patient care. This is same of ours, BioButton, but then you can see if you have that variable, you can do all this remotely from a physician outside. And because of variables, now this is already starting and going a big way. Internet of medical things, or you can say Internet of Things, and this is how the entire ecosystem works. So because of the variables, these things are now getting uh, um, used a lot in the healthcare industry. So classical uh, uh, so components are your sensors, basically, which will sense the data, cloud computing for long-term data processing, then you have fog computing for short-term, and then you can have wireless body area networks. But all these variables will sense, collect the data to the cloud computing, and through Internet of Things, it can analyze and visualize, and it can go to again far off through, and people can see it remotely also. So again, this is also revolutionizing the entire hospital system and remote care. As I said, this is happening in a big way in India during COVID. Basically, it got super annuated in a big way. Lot of countries, even in India, even I used to do a lot of remote monitoring of diabetic patients or hypertensive patients. So now, because of point of care and variables, now these gadgets you can see, and they can measure your heart rates, they can measure your ECG, they can measure your spirometry, and whatnot. And by doing that, you can do a telemedicine, teleradiology, and also nowadays they're planning for telesurgery on a different landscape. This is another technology which is coming in a big way: immersive technologies. And I think, again, most of you might be knowing it, not very new. Immersive technologies enable digital experiences utilizing the 3D immersion of extended reality alongside simulated presence from remote solutions. So basically, it is your AR and VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, or it can be a mixture of both. But as I said, it can be your virtual reality or augmented reality. It's already there in some of the specs. Apple phone uses it, and in healthcare, there's a big role. We in Medtronic already using mixed reality and some of the camera streaming solutions in our therapy. This is your Apple Vision Pro. This is Microsoft HoloLens we are using in surgical console, and this is also used in one of our systems in the surgical department. So we are already using these immersive technologies. And as I said, you can use for education training. It is a great tool, technical support, clinical support, and at present in Medtronic we are using in these areas: cardiovascular therapy, medical, surgical, and neuroscience. And as I said, VR is very commonly used in the healthcare space, especially for visualization, virtual endoscopy or colonoscopy. It could be used for training also. Computer-assisted surgery, radiotherapy, dentistry, rehabilitation. VR is using a lot for rehabilitation, especially in autism or children with low IQ or who need rehabilitative services. VR is a good one. And also VR is currently also nowadays used for stroke patients, for again for rehabilitation, and patients, some of the patients of phobia, and a lot in the field of education, teaching, training. I think being an academic institute, I think you might be also using in your institute. Surgical VR is very common, especially for educating surgeons, surgical training, surgical planning, visualization of anatomical models. Then for surgical rehearsals, when you are going for a complex surgery, you can rehearse it on a VR and then surgically deliver of these. So, as I said, VR powered training is very impactful, and there's a good study was done, and they found out that if you do by lecture, there's only 5% retention rates, reading, and then if you come down, group discussion 50%, learning by teaching others is close to 90%, but when you learn by doing in a VR powered training, almost 75% is the learning retention rates. So VR powered training is very impactful, especially simulations and all, especially for surgeon. From a surgeon perspective, is very helpful. As I said, this is one of the world's first surgery streamed in virtual reality, and by one of the physician, and took 3 hours, published already in the neurological research. So already being used in the real world. As I said, this is called Mind Maze. Again, this is a VR technology, and some of the neurologists and neuro rehabilitation physicians and experts, they use patients who have stroke, uh, and in the management of stroke, especially during rehabilitation, neuro rehabilitation. It helps, and I have seen a lot of this VR used in children with autism and who need, for example, speech therapies or some kind of a rehabilitative services because of low mental IQ and other things. Now, this is digital twins, another technology which is again coming a big way, and it's just starting it. And for example, once you have your genomic thing coming up, which is going on, so as an individual, we can create a digital twin with a similar genomic digitally, and we can researchers can try, for example, new drugs on that, new tests, or anything digitally with the same parameters what you have, so that it is, and you'll get the output, and accordingly it can be used in a real patient. So, by combining clinical, physiological, lifestyle data, a digital twin can mirror the unique characteristics of an individual. And while a comprehensive twin has not been yet created, but work is going on. Even we are using in Medtronic in our diabetic patients, where especially in type 1 diabetes patients, when we know that they are going to use AIDs, so how they will behave with automated insulin delivery system, when the glucose will go down, when the glucose will come down, and how come up, and which all parameters will be impacting. So we are also using this technology in our diabetes portfolio. But you will see many more in coming days, years, months, digital twins. And already I have told you AI. So AI and data analytics is used a lot, especially for guiding clinical decision making and outcomes. And in Medtronic, we are using in many of our therapies. In medical surgical, we have touch surgery, we use it. In GI Genius, we are already using it. In cardiovascular, we use for triaging heart failure patients. We also have a cardiac intelligence, especially for patients with your very fast heart rates and arrhythmias. This is another algorithm AI, and we also have some of them used in the neuroscience space, especially for stroke patients or for your Parkinson's patient, and also we use them in a robotic. So already we are using a lot of AI and data analytics in our medical devices and technology. This is one of the, when I was saying, this is the first FDA approved device in gastroenterology which uses AI for the detection of colorectal polyps during colonoscopy. GI, we call GI Genius. It's available in India also. And already in robotics we have a Hugo robotics assistant surgery system, just recently got FDA approved, and we are using a lot of AI enabled things in this robotics to help the surgeons to do their surgery better. And this is one of the close to me. We have an automated insulin delivery system called Minimed 780G system, which is basically the standard of care for any type 1 diabetes. That means usually happens in small children who needs insulin for lifelong. Without insulin, they will die in 2 or 3 days. And beforehand, they used to take injections. And now, if you just put a sensor and a AI, so this has a machine learning algorithm, or depending on your sensor glucose value, automatically it will deliver the insulin. You don't have to do anything. And this is a game changer for a type 1 diabetes. Now we can see glucose control very close to normal in type 1 kids. And not only for control, it makes them so life free, better quality of life. They don't have to bother about their sugars, when to take everything. So their quality of life has improved, not only them, their parents also. Again, it is available in India also. And this uses a algorithm called PID. Those who are a little bit interested in algorithms, so which is a proportional integral derivative with insulin feedback, which uses real-time information on the current glucose, how far the glucose is from the set target, how long it has been away from the target, how rapidly it has been changing, and what is already insulin on the body. And it's not a new algorithm, very old, I think 5 decade old, used in the airline or the rocket industry, aerospace industry for so many years. And now we are using it in our insulin delivery system. And currently we have close to 350,000 patients across the globe using this AID, automated insulin delivery. In India, because it's out of pocket, we have close to, I think, 4,000 type 1, especially kids and adolescents, using this. Again, AI in healthcare, a lot of chatbots now you will see. Already some hospitals are already using it. So now, but you will see more of these AI agents in healthcare, chatbots, assistants like ChatGPT in your hospitals, or in just to trials, scheduling tests, analyzing results. You will see a lot of these AI agents in healthcare, in labs also. And as I already told, so now because of wearables, now there's a lot of virtual hospitals and remote healthcare. This is in 2026, the concept of telemedicine is now is being healthcare delivered remotely via technology is evolving into virtual hospitals. A hospital in Saudi Arabia called Seha virtual hospital connects close to 130 facilities to treat 400,000. UK NHS, because of the patient load, they plan to have their own online hospital. So wherever there is healthcare shortage, or wherever there is access issues, I think these hospitals will you will see a lot of these remote healthcare and hospitals coming up. Again, AIML is not everything. It has its own challenges in medical device or medical field. Need large, high quality, well curated data sets. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It has its own black box issues. It has bias issues. So we need to identify and minimize. Then transparency is again key. So we need to ensure transparency to users. For example, whenever you design or you're planning to have an AI device, you should very clearly tell the users what it can do and more clearly what it cannot do. That is a major challenge. When I sit on the panels, when a lot of these engineers come to present their ideas and the POCs, they say that my device will do everything, but that doesn't happen. We know. So that's why we always tell them, please tell what your AI enabled device can do and very clearly what it cannot do, because that clarity should be there to have a better product and a better outcome. And if you see as of today and now with the US FDA, how many, like most of the AI and ML devices as of today from 16 to till 25, most of them are in radiology and cardiovascular. Most of them, majority is radiology, because because in radiology you get very well curated, clear cut images. Very good quality data is the key for AI enabled device. So that is why most of them are in radiology and cardiovascular, because you're getting a good data, clear data. And as of today, none of the major, any of the device or chatbots which use generative AI has been cleared by US FDA. Because again, people claim a lot, but when it comes to healthcare, we are really skeptical, and we have a very stringent way to look at the clinical outcomes, how it is helping, what value it is adding, what is the risk, and then only. So as of now, only one device has been approved for fully autonomous use for diabetic retinopathy. But already some of the devices from the city MRI, they are including AI models, which will give some amount of data, what you say, predictability, and some output when you get a picture or image. This is again it's not AI, but this is again a very need called xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation is basically, we know a lot of people have heart failure, liver failure, kidney failure, and there are lakhs and lakhs of people, and they do not get a transplant allograft from their family or matched. So so medical science now, where we are trying to get a artificial, not artificial, a for example, this is the first transplant of an engineered pig heart in a person in 2022, means using a genetically modified animal organ into a patient's of kidney failure or liver failure or heart failure. That is called xenotransplantation. Although in India it has not started in a big way, but it could be groundbreaking, because as of now there are a lot of people who are waiting for life-saving transplant. So it's picking up, but if it happens, it will be a really a game changer for so many people who are at the verge of death and getting some hope. This is another one, and again called light microscopy brain mapping. Although brain mapping can be done with electron microscopy, but this is again a little modified light microscopy brain mapping, which involves visualizing neural structures, connections, molecular markers, and there will be some amount of AI in that, and it will help you in understanding more neuroanalytical and anatomical, structural, and functional changes in the brain disorders. Basically, it will help you in diagnosing these neurodegenerative diseases. So this is again a game changer, but again in very early stage. mRNA therapeutic. We heard a lot during COVID. A lot of vaccines came, and but now they are trying this same technology, mRNA, in a different, especially in oncology and some of the disease area, not for prophylaxis, rather for treatment or management. Especially in oncology, they are looking in a big way. mRNAs, therapeutics. Again, Gen AI, we all know it gives you chatbots and all, but now Gen AI is being used in drug discovery. So you'll see a lot of these things being coming up. So AI is maturing into a fully loaded R&D integration, remodeling how drugs are discovered, redesigned, designed, and developed. So these are some of the changes which is pharmaceutical industry is now you'll see a lot. Although in India as of now not much, but some of the global firms, global pharmaceutical companies have already started using AI in their drug discovery process. Again, another big thing is quantum computing. This you can see. This is one of the picture of one of the quantum computers being made in USA. I think it's 2022 or somewhere. So quantum computing it is actually poised to revolutionize healthcare, especially pharmaceutical, and also both healthcare, which will help you in analyzing complex, large-scale medical data. It promises to accelerate drug discovery, enable highly personalized medicine, optimize clinical trials, and other areas. So this is another technology to look out for, quantum computing, and early stage, but still, it'll, as I said, it'll be a game changer if it succeeds, especially in the pharmaceutical industry, especially to design tailored drugs. So and it'll help you in for example, drug optimization process, potential drug interactions, drug protein interactions. So all these things can be done by quantum computing. This is again, pharmaceutical industry is looking at this technology, blockchain tech, which is already there, but they are trying to include this in their supply chain and manufacturing process to bring more transparency. Again, in clinical trials, a lot of decentralization happen. When I say decentralization, normally clinical trials are done to look for efficacy and safety, and that is the conventional approach, that first we recruit a patient and then do other things. But then slowly what's happening is, to address these challenges, the industry is again starting to set up virtual clinical trials. That is to improve accessibility, efficiency, and patient recruitment. And these virtual clinical trials will involve telemedicine, AI-driven analytical tools, digital monitoring tools, and reduce the need for patients to travel to selected sites. So again, this is again it'll be a really new thing which is slowly coming up. And real world evidence, that is data driven drug development. Earlier what we used to do, we used to make a drug and then see the effect, but this will be little different now with the advent of so many data analytics variables. Now there will be a lot of patient data will be there. So what researchers can do is, with the data, from the data they will see what is their problems and then come to solution. So real world evidence, so data driven drug development. So there will be tailored drugs depending on the problems from the data. So these researchers will use a lot of these variables data, and other data, and use AI, deep learning, machine learning, and then support the development of tailored drugs. This is another apart from mRNA therapeutics. Again, this is a big area. GLP-1, all of you know, Ojempic, Monjaro flooding the newspapers for making you look better, obesity and all. So this is a big platform, lot of molecules on the way, and not only obesity, a lot of studies are being going on for cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, liver, and some of the potentially neurodegenerative conditions. So watch out, you will see these lot of GLPs and GIPs will come, and we're looking at a different way, or a different biologicals coming to see a different group of drugs in the market. So it's a lot of being currently, already we have so many in the market, and so many, if you go to the pipeline, and you see so many of them already in the pipeline and in different indications, as I said, GLP-1s. Cell and gene therapy, again, especially the T cells, B cells, and the most famous now, all of you know, CAR T cell. CAR T cells, again, a revolutionary thing. It's there almost for last 3 years or 4 years in the US market, where you actually CAR T cell therapy is a game changer in people with B cell lymphomas or B cell leukemias, where they do not respond to any medicines, anything, and at the end they don't have any choice. So CAR T cell therapy is one of the last options they have. And I think some of you might be knowing, in India we have our own CAR T cell therapy. So there's a company called ImmunoAct, started by one of the IIT Bombay faculty. I know him from my AIIMS days. I've been supporting him in his own journey, and now it is commercialized. So CAR T cell therapy, if you get it in the US, it costs you 3-4 crores. In India, it costs you just 25 to 30 lakhs. So this is again driving a lot of new things, especially in the precision medicine area, cell and gene therapy. CRISPR, I think a lot of people might have heard because CRISPR is used in basic research, but CRISPR X AI, again, it includes some amount of AI in that. It's a cutting edge intersection of bioscience and computer technology. And there are a lot of, we saw. So now we're hoping that in this year or coming years, it will lead to powerful new therapies for cancer, cystic fibrosis, a lot of rare diseases and genetic conditions. So hopefully it will help researchers to begin new era of personalized and precision medicine. With AI, you will see a lot of synthetic health data because getting a healthcare data is not easy anywhere. It's in US or in India. So now researchers are thinking, can we synthesize using AI synthetic health data and see that does you can have a virtual molecule and does it uses that. So this is again, it has its own risks also, because how authentic that will be and a lot of regulations will be there. But this is also one of the thoughts or researchers are thinking to synthetic health data. I already told you about these genomics and multiomics, which will again be a big way in, especially in pharmaceutical and in biotech field. But in diagnostics also, in the diagnostic world, you will see a lot of these labs coming. Already there are a few of them, biogenomics, and there are, I think, a couple of others who give you genomic studies or genomic tests. So now you will see a lot of new diagnostic chains or labs coming up, which will give you genomics, proteomics, and complex data. This is just to say that in everywhere there is AI, but as I said, AI is going very, very fast like a rabbit, and we are all, healthcare clinical. We go in a very slow pace, like a tortoise, and that is why uh, we, although AI can come, but especially in healthcare, we are very, very careful of use of AI, because we need to look at the good data collection, annotation, then the QA and the clinical, and at the end we look at the regulatory approvals. Because at the end of the day in healthcare, there is someone at the end who is getting that. So there should be more benefit than risk. That is why, although AI or technology is rapidly going fast, but its adoption in the healthcare space is relatively slow as compared to other industries. When it is not patient facing, it's much easier, especially in the pharmaceutical world and other worlds. Now just I'll close my presentation soon. Just these are the driving forces why AI is driving so much. Because this is because of advances in computer hardware and availability of huge volumes of data, better algorithms, machine learning solutions, and better sensors. Now, last few slides, if someone is interested, you want to build a AI device or a AI service or something like that, be very, very clear. Like for a car, you need petrol or diesel or you need something else. So for a AI device or a service, whatever, or a technology, data is the fuel that powers AI. Good quality and quantity data is needed. If you do not have good data, it is GIGO, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So if you want to develop a good AI product, you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to look at big, high quality label data. Otherwise, it's not a go ahead. So this is how normally data collection is being done. when, for example, from a patient consent, IoT devices, sensor data, data transmission, data storage, labeling systems, and this is how you control. And once you have all that, how you make a successful AI product. So you need to first identify a clinical need or a pain point. Okay, then look at what data you need for getting that collection and storage. Then you annotate the data, that is, okay, make it palatable, data cleaning. Then you train your algorithm, you design or you find out which algorithm will suit that, train that with that data, again validate the algorithm, apply for a regulatory clearance if it needs, deploy it, monitor it, and and have a system to update your algorithm continuously. Retraining and training is continuous, is needed if you want to develop a successful AI product. And at the end of the day, I said you need good quality and quantity data. If otherwise, it's just gigo, garbage in, garbage out. And AI is not solution everything. AI has its own challenges. One of the major issues with AI is catastrophic forgetting over time. This is again a huge issue. We don't forget, but AI, if he has done one thing today and after 5 days he will forget what he has done on the first day. That is catastrophic forgetting over time. And sensitivity to untrusted training data. This is again issue. And decision making with multiple objectives is a challenge as of today. So you need to be clear. As I said, when you design, you are making an AI-enabled device or a solution, whatever. You need to be very, very clear what it can do, 100%, and what it cannot do. You should be very, very clear what it cannot do. Just this was Industrial Revolution, 1970, 1788. Then we came the steam engine. This is present day. We have, you know, content recommendation, medical diagnosis, AI based, autonomous driving, no driver, virtual assistants, Gen AI. Now you have agentic AI coming, and AI and other computing will go on. Thank you very much for a patient hearing. I know there was a lot of things, but I could. So it will be really great to hear from you and for a good discussion. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Debashis. It was a very wonderful and eye-opening presentation. So I have some questions and comments as well. So can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. You had earlier on mentioned in your presentation about the bio button, which is by the Medtronic systems as well. So this, if my understanding is correct, this will provide real-time snapshots to the physician as and when it's happening in during the patient's different activities. Okay. And it provides a kind of a virtual hospital feeling rather than occasional snapshots whenever the patient visits a hospital, as the case may be now. Correct? Is that right?
Yes, it's a variable. It's a real-time variable.
Okay. Now, you had also mentioned about another technology that you use in the continuous glucose monitoring system, right? Where especially you highlighted about the type 1 diabetic patients, which usually are children. So, if I understand correctly, it also kind of senses the peak in glucose and thereby the male pattern, right?
Yes, it has a AI and ML enabled inbuilt algorithm.
Ah,
Depending on the sensor glucose value, and it will predict
the
how the sugars are going to be in next half an hour, 1 hour,
mm,
depending on whether the patient, if it is going low, so it automatically stops insulin, and if,
okay.
if it is going high, for example, after a meal, it will
Mm,
push more insulin
mm.
automatically.
Okay. So my question is basically, does once this system is actually fixed onto the patient's body, um, does it also record the nighttime fluctuations? For example, if the patient experiencing a nocturnal hypoglycemia, uh, does this device also captures that?
Yeah, it is with the patient 24/7. So it
Ah,
does
okay.
everything.
No. Does it have any duration or any kind of limitation in terms of, it can be used only
Limit,
for,
limitations means it's a system. Okay. So there is a pump device, then you have an algorithm within the device, then you have a separate continuous glucose monitoring system that is called sensor, glucose sensor.
okay,
So there is a lifespan for sensor. So one sensor works for 15 days. So every
right.
15 days you need to change a sensor.
Hmm.
That's all.
For example, some of the, uh, not the insulin provider. I mean, today, as of now, in India and elsewhere in the world, there is no system which is matching this your device, which is basically the insulin dose adjuster based on the meal time and the meal pattern and the blood sugar, even during the night, right? So it also works for only 15 days. It has got only the CGM system, for example, from Abbott. So is the duration same for this device as well, right?
So device is lifelong. Once this is type 1 person, they will be using it lifelong. So they have to because it is a automated system. It works on algorithm.
Hmm.
So to continuously working it to work, so they have to change their sensors every 15 days. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. And as you mentioned, I feel that this is for the audience as well. I think in diagnostics, they have already, the AI and the technology is moved on, in a very advanced manner. For example, most of you must be knowing about this Fiji films from Japan. Now they have moved into a major move into the healthcare by devising an AI-based diagnostic service, which incidentally has one outlet in Bangalore.
Okay.
So what it does is, if you walk in there after an appointment in just 120 minutes, it with 75% of less radiation, okay, and including a doctor consultation, all will be over in 2 hours, and the system can predict, the results can predict, it can scan, it scans various organs in the body. It can predict. In today, there's no predictors of the anticipated cancer or the likelihood of cancer for a particular person beyond 5 years, but it even predicts even beyond 5 years. Okay, like the possibilities of having thyroid cancer, the different types of cancer, for example, pancreatic cancer, and the, especially the gender specific cancers. Okay, so this is already made a move, but you have also made a mention, Dr. Debashis, that this technology is actually a big enabler for the clinical trial, right? So can I understand that this kind of technology in diagnosis, the clinical trial duration, for example, today, without AI technology, using the traditional statistical analysis and so on and so forth, the human trials is spanning up to, 5 to 7 years, starting from phase one to phase two. So can I, if my understanding is correct, this can be reduced to probably a few years, maybe 1 or 2 years, including the analysis.
No, as of now, AI has not been able to reduce that. AI now what AI has done is from from analyzing one molecule from 1,000 molecules to come to one molecule in the drug discovery. That's the process or that's the timeline which AI has reduced because of the
No.
AI analytics and all. But once it comes to clinical trials,
Mm.
that is still there because you already define it how many weeks of clinical trial it will be, whether it's 26 weeks or 24 weeks, and then there will be electronic data capture and then data management and other things. So that part is not.
Okay. Now, one last question in the clinical trial space. you have also mentioned about the data-driven drug development system, right? So, if I have an AI-enabled technology, is it possible to predict the possible number of adverse events or the serious adverse events based on the data which is available to kind of extrapolate that, is it going to be a real risk, or should we stop the trial, or should we redirect the research in a different aspect?
No. So currently, this is in a very, very early stage.
Mm.
What they are saying is once we have more of these variables, more of the data coming, okay, once you have that data, large volume of data, then you can have an analysis of that data and look at what are the real problems happening in the population in terms of the data analysis. Depending on that, then looking at the problem, then you will come to what drug you need for that problem.
Okay. And one last question to you is basically you also mentioned in the last one of the last slides that I would rather ask you a straightforward question. Do you opine that the penetration of AI in the healthcare space is limited because of the cautions that we need to take because it's a life involved
Yes.
in any stages of the healthcare, or is it because of any other physical reason or any other
No,
mechanic?
it is just the life at stake.
Yeah, yeah.
Life at stake. Because if you just allow everyone, you don't. For example, I'll tell you the example you told, Fusifilm, correct? So
Yeah.
there was a company in US. They
Mm,
came with health pods.
mm,
Okay, they came with health pods. So they put pods. For example, as a person, you will go inside the pod and stand there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It will scan your whole body. Okay, and tell you,
mm,
okay, these are the problems in you.
mm,
But US FDA did not approve it, and it was removed from the market in the night because there was no validation. And for example, as you said, the one of the Fusifilm. Now, just as a telling as a human being, I will tell you, Pratap, you are going to have cancer after 7 years. What will
mm,
happen to you mentally, although you
mm,
do not have any symptoms, no tests are irregular or nothing wrong,
mm,
but if that analytics is going to tell you 7 years after that, you are going to get a cancer.
mm.
How will you sleep every day night? So you have to think just data will not give you all insight. We need to look at data and the clinical insight and amalgam it, and then that's a better output rather than just data.
Okay.
Alright.
Or yeah, please.
Yes, I'm Joyce this side. Sir, there are many questions posted at the chat box. So, would you suggest me to read them up?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, I see Sajal Thakur has written only a phrase, transgenic animal.
Okay.
Yeah, transgenic animal.
Same. Nowadays, anyhow, nowadays you don't get animals only to do any animal studies or something because of a lot of restrictions on animal. So I don't know what exactly he wanted to look at that, but
Mhm.
currently they are looking at xenotransplantation. In not much in India. They have just started in the US because there's a limitation of transplantation in across the globe and there's a long waiting list, and getting a allograft from a family member or a friend who matches your everything is not so rapid and quick. So if they can get this running, it will be great savior for a lot of people who are waiting for transplantation.
Okay, okay. So Ramesh Ganeshan is asking, any platform is available to check current development in tech, medtech and pharma area on regular basis?
There are actually many. They're not a single thing, but big. I would say you'll get good reports. Be follow authentic report, for example, from a lot of these research firms, for example, PwC or Deloitte or KPMG or any of these research agencies, or some of the government agencies who, on time to time, they do a lot of these analysis and search and make out a report. Those are more valid and credible information they will get what's happening.
Okay. The next question comes from Vineet Arora. What will be the scopes? What will be the scope after B Farm in medtech or IT sector?
Come again. I couldn't help you.
What will be the scope after B Farm in medtech or IT sector?
What are the scopes?
Yes.
It lot of course depends on what they want to do. For example, a B farm, take example. A B farm guy want to study can go for M farm, can go for MSc, can then go for a PhD. Doesn't want to do that, can go for MBA. Doesn't want to do that. Just after B farm, they can open their own chain of pharmacies online and other things, or they want to join industry. There are a lot of options. It's up to them what they want to do in terms of do they want to do academic, do they want to practice, and do they want to join the industry, or they want to be entrepreneur. It's totally their what they like it, or what they enjoy it. But a lot of options are there. And for same for a medtech, a biomedical engineering. So say a lot of biomedical engineers work in Medtronic, both in commercial side, and a lot of them work in Hyderabad. We have a you might have heard Medtronic Engineering and Innovation Center. So a lot of them they work there also in the R&D side. So a biomedical engineer can work in a commercial side, sales and marketing in a medtech firm, or work in a service line. A lot of these medtech technology they need service department, service people. They work there, or they can work as a service manager in the hospitals, because once you install, they need someone to look after their equipments, or they can go for further studies, research. So options are up to them what they want to do.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. So the next question comes from Kumar Ashutosh. Hello, sir. Good evening. My question is that is it possible to develop a small bone which we can use when that bone get broken? As we know that China has developed an adhesive which fixes the fractured bone.
Already I have seen, as I said, I sit on the Birex panel for medtech startups. I have seen several startups working on this area. Some of them are advanced. So you might see some of them soon in the market.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is from Hasti Veera. How AI will be helpful in managing pharma business like pharma wholesale distributionship or manufacture of pharma formulations?
Basically, data collection, data storage, and analytics will be the key there. I think analytics will be key.
Okay. So next question comes from Manmeet Kaur Gandhi. How will AI integrate electronic health records into drug research?
That's a long way. That's a long way. Currently, the major challenge is even electronic health records or EMRs are not a success in most of the countries. So I think first we need to succeed in having a good EMR uh, first, and then I think drug discovery is again is a separate. But if you have, I think if you have a genomic card, everyone has a genomic card, and then we can have a community genomic card. But again, the challenge is who stores the data, who has access to that. Then there are people who want to help, but there are people who want to exploit that. So that data privacy, all that security comes into question. So we need to be careful what can be done in that space.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So we have taken few of the questions. Dr. Pratap, sir, if you have anything to add on for all these questions, your point of views.
Yeah, so not really. I think only in the field of pharmaceutical distribution, as Dr. Debashis also emphasized, it is not going to improve the infrastructure or the way we are today, because how much ever is the innovation happening in that area, it's just a local logistics system. So basically, on the data analysis, it helps in terms of who is going to be the likely buyer, who is trying to stock most in terms of the previous data and things like that. But it is not going to improve the way we distribute, because if it is a vaccine or an insulin like biological product, the cold chain maintenance has to be done in any ways. Okay, if it is a paracetamol or not a temperature sensitive product, it can be put on a plastic cover and then distribute it. So it is not going to change the way the distribution looks like, but it is going to help the both the parties, the distributors as well as the chemist, in terms of the data. And other than that, I don't have anything. Any other questions that you have to take up, Joyce? Nothing, right? Hello. I think. Uh,
Yeah, there are a few more questions in the chat box.
uh-huh.
So, Dr. Debashis and Dr. Pratap sir, what do you suggest? Do you want me to go through all the questions?
Can you take few more because there's the time constraint also. Maybe there are
Okay.
some key important. See if they're relevant. Some key important ones you can take it. We can take it.
Okay. There is one question by Kankana Dutt. Why have AI-driven digital biomarkers succeeded in tracking Parkinson's disease but failed to reliably detect prodromal or preclinical stages? Do you have any suggestion or opinion on how we might be able to solve this problem in the future?
Who said that they have succeeded in diagnosing Parkinsonism? I have not come across any AI model which has. We have been using a lot of startups are using or are trying to make AI models to diagnose neurodegenerative disease like Parkinsonism, Alzheimer's, and others. But it is not that easy just with AI, and you will be able to diagnose these neurodegenerative. They might help a neurophysician in analyzing data, but just looking at some of the startups came that just looking at EEG, they can tell someone has Alzheimer's. It's not that easy, or Parkinson's. It is a complex brain is a complex thing, and we look at so many different things. Just looking at one uh, set of parameter or two set of parameters, we cannot detect. So as of now, there is no validated AI model to diagnose Parkinsonism. Anyhow, we need a physician, a neurophysician, to look the patient, clinical symptoms, do some tests if needed, and then combinedly and look at holistically whether they have a Parkinsonism or not, or something called Parkinson's disorder, not exactly Parkinsonism.
Okay. So there is one question. How expensive is this system for continuous glucose monitoring?
In India, CGM, I think most of there are 4 or 5 players in India. For 15 days or 14 days, I think the cost to the user is 4,500 to 5,000 rupees.
Okay. Okay. Sir, last question that I will be taking is any suggestions from BPharm students particularly?
Sorry, didn't get the
Yeah,
question.
any suggestion for BPharm students in particular?
No, I'll
I
just say study your B Pharm properly, whatever you're doing, and do what you enjoy. Look at the future also, but then sabki suno, hear everyone, look what's happening around you, but then at the end of the day, do that what you enjoy and what you'll enjoy for next at least 20-30 years, and keep upskilling yourself. Once you finish B Pharm, or it is not the end of the world. You keep yourself trained on new things so that you are not outdated. You will always be in the system. That's more important.
Great. So there are many messages say that it was a great presentation. They are appreciating and they are looking forward for a few more webinars like this. So thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Pratap Nair, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Doctor. Actually, on behalf of myself, the institution, and the director of the institution, Yusra ma'am, and the entire IHMR family, it's my pleasure to extend my sincere thanks Thank you very much for your time and your deep dive insights into the various aspects. And, you know, perhaps this is one area, as you said during your presentation, this is moving like a rabbit. So we have no predictions as yet that where it is going to end and how the transitions and therefore the perspective in the medical treatment as well as the outcome of the treatment it is going to reach. So hopefully, keeping this in mind, we can have more and more sessions on this, and perhaps one or two sessions whenever you are in Bangalore. Kindly let us know. We'll be more than happy to assemble, and then we can keep associating in this area going forward. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much, sir, once again.
Thank
Yes,
you.
over
Thank
to
you,
you,
Pratap.
Asta.
Sorry.
As we come, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to sincerely thank all of our participants for your active presence and engagement. We truly appreciate your patience and involvement throughout the webinar. A special note of gratitude to our esteemed moderator, Dr. Pratap, and our distinguished speaker, Dr. Debashis, for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your perspectives have greatly enriched our understanding of the emerging technology trends shaping the future of pharma and medtech. We will be posting the feedback form link in the chat box, and upon successful submission of feedback form, you will be getting the e-certificate in the registered mail ID. And we will be organizing many more informative and engaging sessions in the near future. To stay updated on our upcoming webinars, events, and academic initiatives, we encourage you to follow IIHMR Bangalore on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you once again for being a part of today's session, sir. We hope you find it insightful and valuable. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very
Bye bye.
much. Bye bye.